her huge eyes full of tears, watched what was happening. The girl heard the women talking. My God, what a disaster. Some are in trouble, some are totally indifferent, as if stones are falling from the sky. Oh, tell me about it. The son is not even a son. He left so many years ago, but here, surprise, no closer relatives could be found. Let's go. Well then. And what about the kid? The child is kind of like her grandchild, but also not. Oh, don't say. Poor Marina, she even took the funeral upon herself, though she could have refused. Tanya wiped away her tears and didn't understand anything. Just a few days ago, they were living in the city with their mom. Mom was sick, of course, but
it has always been a river.
Drip. Then some people came, took Mom and brought her here, to this mean, reticent lady. And then Mom was brought as well, only Mom wasn't the same as before. She seemed like a stranger. And it was frightening to look at her. Marina. They were talking. The woman was standing in the corner of the room. She's still in shock. Sometimes she glanced at the little girl, huddled in the corner, but understood that it was not her. She can't calm down. She can't say anything good while she can't. Actually, everything that happened seemed like theater of the absurd. Once upon a time, Marina married a man who had a little son. They were in love, and she was able to love the boy as her own. But the boy, when he grew up, started to make demands. He says he doesn't have enough money, and they don't give him a push for life. The father endured, and then kicked him out. Marina, of course, asked him to calm down, but the son didn't. And when Marina was at work, he came back. Apparently, they had a fight with the father, judging by what was going on in the house. The son was already gone when Marina came back from work. Valuables and money were also gone. And her husband was unconscious. They couldn't save her husband. Her son was imprisoned. After that, she lost interest in his fate. A few years later, which was about 3 years ago, he showed up on her doorstep, skinny, scary. He was lying at her feet, begging for forgiveness and pleading for help. Marina showed him the door and then,
what do you say?
Is, he has a child, that he will soon be killed, and that is, Mom and child will disappear. And just a few days ago they came to her. They said a woman lives with a child. The father left them with debts, the mother got sick, that she only has a day or two left to live and she will not return. She gave her address. Said that Marina is the child's grandmother and there are no other relatives. At first Marina didn't even want to hear anything. Why would she want these troubles? People left and Marina started doing housework. Only she couldn't do anything. Everything was falling out of her hands. After spending the night soaking wet, she went to the city in the morning. No one in the village even knew where she had gone. Why? Everyone was simply flabbergasted when Marina returned because she didn't come back alone. She brought the child with her, and then they brought a coffin with a body. The village was bursting with curiosity, but it wasn't easy for people to approach Mary with the Raspos. They were afraid. After her husband's death, she closed herself off. She hardly talked to anyone, got angry, isolated herself. Long ago, no one even tried to talk to her because in response, they would either hear nothing or just be sent away. The woman didn't drink. She ran a big household. She was selling her own products at the market and even tried not to go to the village store. She brought everything from the city for herself. And now this. And while they figured out whose child it was, to whom she was going to bury, almost a day passed. People in the village are understanding, kind, so they soon started coming to Marina's house to help support this cause. For the first time, Marina didn't turn away, didn't refuse help because she was completely confused. Well, funeral, no pity, her money is just dead weight anyway, and the child, according to the documents, she was her grandmother, because she once adopted her son too. After the funeral, when everyone had mourned properly and the villagers had gone home, Sveta, the neighbor, stayed with Marina Once upon a time they were friends, and then, after Nikolai's death, when Marinka isolated herself and no longer needed a friend. Will I help you or will you chase me away? Marina waved her hand. Well, what are you saying? I won't chase you away, of course. Forgive me, Light. I didn't want to see anyone or talk to anyone. Sveta sighed, rolled up her sleeves and started to pile up the dishes for washing. Sure, I get it all. That's why I didn't interfere. Everyone copes with their grief in their own way. Listen, that girl Marina, she grimaced. Totally forgot about her. Probably she wants to eat and sleep as well. She went into the room, brought the frightened Tanya, sat her at the table, put a plate in front of her. Eat. The girl obediently started eating, silently, her little hands trembling. She's too scared to raise her eyes. When the plate was empty, Marina commanded, Let's go. I'll show you where to sleep. She came back quickly. Sveta shook her head. She's just a little girl, lost her mom. She should be pitied. Spend time with her. Marina sighed. You know, I never had kids. I'm even afraid of her. I have no idea what to do. Sveta wiped her hands and went to the room. Tanya lay there, tightly closing her eyes. Probably the girl got tired, so she fell asleep right away. When everything was cleaned up, Sveta left. Marina also went to bed. She was starting to fall asleep when she heard the child softly crying. Just what she needed. She tried to remember what to do there and decided to just wait. If you start to soothe, most likely Tanya will start crying so much that it will not be possible to calm her down. An hour passed like this. Marina heard the girl quiet down and then start snoring evenly. He breathed a sigh of relief. Turns out all this time she was clutching the blanket so hard with her fingers that she had a hard time straightening them now. She waited a little longer, got up, walked over to Tanya. The little girl's face was swollen from tears and her lashes still trembled in her sleep. Marina bent over, ran her palm through the child's hair. Don't cry. Everything will be fine. We will definitely become friends. I will not hurt you. The woman involuntarily smiled, gently kissed the child and lay down, fell asleep immediately, as if she fell somewhere. Tanya opened her eyes almost immediately after Marina fell asleep. She dreamt about her mom, and the girl clearly understood that nowhere would be better than being with her mom. She quietly got up, pulled on her jacket and went out of the house. It was cool outside but not cold. Tanya remembered where they were today. She was sure she would find the way to the cemetery. She walked quickly, muttering various rhymes under her breath. This was to make it less scary. Finally, the cemetery gates loomed ahead. Tanya sighed and without looking back went into them. Now she was really confused. The summer night was quite bright, but she had no idea where to go here. I'll find it. Tanya went ahead. Then she turned again. Soon she realized that she did not understand where she was. She was very scared. She turned to that nasty aunt, but where to find the gate the girl didn't understand either. She saw a bench. Such a beautiful bench and a big angel next to it. The angel won't let anyone hurt her. Just wait until morning comes and it gets quite light. Then she'll find her mom. Marina woke up. For some time she didn't open her eyes. So do I need to cook porridge or what do little ones eat for breakfast? Maybe it's easier to ask Tanya what she wants. The woman turned her head and froze. The child was not in bed. Marina sat up sharply. Don't panic. Probably went to the toilet. Marina showed her just yesterday where... Waited a bit. Nobody. All is quiet. She got up, walked around the house. No one's there. She went out, walked through the yard, the garden. Panic was starting to set in her head. What happened? Tanya is just a little girl. My God, but why didn't she talk to her, didn't hug her yesterday? Marina jumped out of the yard. The heart was pounding. Oh Lord, poor child. She heard everything, understood everything, but nobody pitied her. Nobody said she was not alone. What could possibly be in her mind? Marina yanked the neighbor's gate towards herself. Sveta! Sveta! Svetlana looked out the window. Marin, why so early? What happened again? Tanya's gone. Svetlana gasped. How? It's gone. Maybe it's somewhere in the yard? Yes, I've searched everywhere. Ah, I'm a fool. I should have talked to her yesterday. Well, what kind of person am I? Hold on, Wayla, we'll find your loss. Vanka, get dressed. It was Sveta who screamed deep into the house. Within 10 minutes, the three of them were running around the village. An hour later, about 20 people had joined them. Wait, everyone's checked she's not in the village. We should head to the lake. Mari wrapped her head. No. Marin, let's hope she's not there, but we need to check. Mihalic, call the police. The older man replied. Hold on with the police. Let's take a look first. Well, why? Marin has enough problems. What if she's asleep somewhere on the shore? The crowd made their way to the lake, and Marina looked at the cemetery. The thought, of course, is absurd, but what can the little ones think? They are fine with Mom. They need to go to Mom. Suddenly Tanya remembered the way. She darted towards the cemetery. Sveta confusedly shouted at her, Marin, Marin, where are you going? Not getting an answer, ran after her. Marina reached the fresh grave of her unknown daughter-in-law in 10 minutes. She exhaled. There is no one. Hope was quietly leaving her soul. She cried. But where is she? You could at least give me a hint. The light was aside and didn't interfere. She couldn't stop her tears. Marina has changed so much these days, like a different person. A person whose soul isn't dead. Marina slowly turned around. She needed to go to the lake. She needed to make herself. And then she froze. Out of the corner of her eye, she saw something out of place among the bushes and monuments. Something that shouldn't be in a cemetery. She dashed through the bushes and immediately froze. It was a yellow jacket. She recognized it immediately because she herself had brought Tanya in this jacket from the city. And under the jacket, Marina, quietly so as not to scare the girl, approached the bench and sat down.
Tanechka, Tanyush, wake up.
Let's go home. The girl instantly opened her eyes, sat up abruptly and looked at Marina in fear, with Sveta standing aside, holding her breath. Tanya, don't be scared. Please forgive me. I got confused and didn't think about how bad you feel. Let's go home. I'll make you some pancakes. The tennis ball stuck to the pot lid. And Mom, honey. Mom really didn't want to leave you, but now she's in heaven. Don't think she's watching you, rejoicing for you or getting upset. I'll try very hard to make you feel good with me.
Girls,
Vayechka was still silent, and then she reached out to her. You're not going to be mad at me? No, I won't. Why are you crying? Marina smiled, wiped away tears because she found you. Because nothing happened to you. It's from joy. Tanya looked at her in surprise. What, do people cry from joy? They sure do. Marina took Tanya by the hand and then extended both hands to her. Come to me. She froze all over. Tanya trustingly reached out to her, hugged her, buried her nose in her shoulder, and started snoring. And will we sometimes come to Mom? Of course we will. Definitely. Marina carefully picked up the baby, held her tighter, and carried her from the cemetery. It was tough. After all, the girl was already 6 years old, but under the gun, Marina would not admit this, and would never let Tanya go. Something unimaginable was happening inside. It seemed to her that Tanya was her extension, her piece, which you can't separate without pain. Sveta sniffed and ran to the shore to warn everyone that the little one was found. Of course, could Sveta have kept quiet and not tell how it all went? Someone knocked on Marina's door in the evening. She surprisedly said, "Yes, who is there?" Several women entered the house. One of them, embarrassed, said, "Marine, excuse us if we're not on time. Don't be mad. We understand that it's hard for you right now. There's nothing for the child. Just arrived too. Here, take this from us." We women got something, and some stuff from the grandchildren was found. Here are all the good things and toys too. Marina silently got up, went to them. And forgive me, women, I lived in black fog. Maybe some tea while our Tanya is trying on new clothes. The women breathed a sigh of relief. And we didn't come empty-handed. Here are candies and all kinds of cookies. You've spent on the funeral, so don't take it personally. They were drinking tea, laughing at Tanya, who was trying to pretend to be a model. And Marina, she thought she was grateful to heaven for everything that happened. She pitied everyone. Tanya's mom and the wayward foster son, and her beloved husband. But the pity for this little girl was simply overwhelming. If you like this story, please support me with a thumbs up button. It's just one action for you, but for me it's very important. All the best.